for the services, and our CSR needs to receive that payment. We need to schedule the audit, and we need to start the project. So back to our CSRs. This is the CSR permission. They're going to click on Customer Management and select the homeowner and the address for the project that they want to manage. Then they click on Owner Receipt. So when you click on Owner Receipt, you see a screen such as the one that's in front of you here. We can find out how the owner paid: cash, cashier's check, transfer, money order, personal check. So this is if they actually are giving us money. This is where we show that in the system. And we put the dollar amount in the dollar amount slot, and any kind of reference ID, if it's a check number or something like that, in the reference ID, and we submit it. You can see at the bottom here, this homeowner has actually already paid us some money. So there's a history of funds that they've already deposited in there as well. The homeowner, the thing about a CSR screen is that black bar that's running through the middle, everything underneath that is what's on the homeowner screen that they can see as well. So when the homeowner signs in, they see the stuff beneath that. And if there's a financial button, so the homeowner can click the financial button, and so can the CSR, and see what they're seeing. And that shows the homeowner, in this case, they can see, oh, yep, they've received my funds. I see that they're in the system. They've gotten my payment. I also see that they've awarded a couple parts of the jobs to be done, but they haven't paid them yet because it's showing that all of my money is still available, so they haven't actually issued the purchase orders yet. So the homeowner can see with complete transparency what's happening with their money. And the CSR can see it as well and communicate that to the homeowner. Now, starting the job, which I said was very important because that's what actually creates the schedule in our system. If you don't start the project, you're not going to have a schedule. So you need to start the project. The customer support person goes to customer management. They choose the home and the address, the homeowner name and the address that they want to start the project for, and they click Start Project. Pretty simple. Comes up with this screen here where they can put in the date that this homeowner started working with us, and they click Start Project. There's also an area to the right there which is very, very handy for customer support reps. It's a place where they can keep notes about this homeowner. So it's a running list of notes of information about the homeowner, and you can see that it's a date time stamped, and then there's information there. And so that history stays along with that homeowner on that property to be able to see it. And that's a good place to put, homeowner would like to schedule the audit for October 11th, 2010, and that way the audit can be scheduled on the day that they wanted. Now the accounting department has to receive the payment and has to fund the purchase order. Here's where we do that in the Retrofit Exchange. The accounting user signs in now and clicks on Project Accounting because we're funding the purchase orders. Make sure they've got the right homeowner selected. And there's two screens you can look at here. You can look at funding required. Now this would be if the homeowner doesn't want to pay with cash but would like to apply to a project. This is a good place to go and look and see how much money they need and how much they need to apply to the program. So this is showing us at the retail price what the homeowner is going to pay for this work. Then there's the PO release and funding, and when you click that, you get the screen that's below, and that is at the wholesale price because as an EIPM, you're paying your contractors their wholesale price. You're charging your homeowner the retail price. So you click on that PO release and funding, and you can see it already comes up and says, okay, we actually need to release one of these purchase orders. And in this case, the top one came already checked because it knows that's coming up. The bottom one isn't checked because that's future. So you don't really need to fund that purchase order yet. You can if you want to. But the box is already checked for you. It shows the amount that's needed. It shows the amount that's needed in the future. And you can see there's a look forward box there. So if you're heading out for 2 weeks vacation and you're the finance person, You can look forward 14 days, 20 days, and make sure that you've funded all your projects before you leave, one way or another. And you see on the right-hand side of the bottom screen, it says funding options. Well, in this case, Edgar belongs to Henry's energy testing line of credit, and they can select a line of credit to fund this purchase order and say, I'll pay you later. Or they can select ACH debit and have the funds transferred from their account into the funding account, which is maintained by Enterprise Bank, and the funds are then held safely until the contractor's done with their work, and it gets ACH'd into the contractor's account once the EIPM says, yep, they did their work just like they said, I approve it, and then it will get funded. So that's the two choices that Edgar has right now. If you belong to other programs, you may find a whole list of choices for funding your programs. Oh, and there's where it is. So we funded our purchase order. Our field project manager has to get involved, manage the schedule, manage the QA, manage the communications. Well, here's how they manage the QA. We're going to start with that because that's near and dear to my heart. The field project manager permission person gets in, and they click on their menu, and they've got a, what does that say on the middle menu there? Quality checklist. They click on the quality checklist from the second menu, and that brings them to this screen. There's a drop-down box in the middle there that's going to have all of the different kinds of work that they might request somebody to bid on, and a show button right there. So they select one, they push that button, and you'll see that on the top right it shows the default checklist. So for performing an energy audit, the default checklist is perform the audit. Did you do it or not? Underneath that, you see what other energy improvement project managers have added to their checklist to maybe personalize their quality checklist a little more. And then on the left is your checklist as the project manager. So you can either just go ahead and select and keep the default checklist and say that's good enough for me, or if you have, as in this case, a few more items that you want to make sure that your auditor does before they say they're finished, and you want to make sure that they follow all those items and that they have checked them off of their checklist, you would add them to the screen. Task management. So this is now getting into the schedule. The task management menu is called Task Schedule. So you click on Task Schedule, you're going to get the menu there. Then you choose the dates and whether or not you want to see all tasks or just the incomplete ones. Click Show, and you're going to get what's down below there. So you can see here we are signed in as Edgar's Energy Improvements, but we're seeing that it's Henry's Energy Testing Company that's doing these items because we've selected him to do our audit. We can click on the hyperlink for Perform a Comprehensive Energy Audit, and you'll see there's your quality checklist. So the contractor, this is what they're using to be out in the field, and they're going to say whether or not they've started or completed each of these tasks. So for this could be an insulation job, and you might have information in there about what they're supposed to be sealing off, how many pounds of insulation needs to be per square foot, and things such as that. And they have to sign off on those tasks that they have completed those things. You'll notice at the bottom of that screen there's a button that says Manage Task Schedule. We have the opportunity, things don't always happen exactly how we thought they were going to schedule and reschedule in the tool. So if you click that Manage Task Schedule, you're going to be brought to this screen. And this is for that particular task. You can choose to push out the start date or push out the complete date. So you're either working on the start of that task or the complete of that task. So maybe they've already started and they're running a little slower than you thought, so the complete date actually has to move. You can delay it a number of work days, or if they're working really fast, you might need to pull it up so you get your other contractors on the site faster and get the work done quicker. And there's a running list of why the schedule changed. So this helps you with your quality assurance that if you have one subcontractor who's consistently 3 days late, you have now documented that, you know exactly why. And or if they're always a no-show, you have some reporting that tells you, hey, this guy never shows up. I don't think I'm going to award him the job anymore. So you change your schedule and you click your button, and that instantly then notifies all the downstream contractors that, hey, your schedule's been changed. Don't show up tomorrow, show up in 2 days because the person before you is running late, or the rain caused a delay, or whatever the problem is. The material didn't show up. So it will notify them to move their schedule a little bit ahead or show up early. Now our crew folks, how do they see what they need to see? How do they manage their crews, receive their tasks, and delegate their work, perform their work, all of those good things? What do our crews see in the Retrofit Exchange? Well, we have a crew organization built into the Retrofit Exchange. It looks a lot like an org chart, so it's pretty familiar to most people. If you click on Crew Management and Crew Management on the two menus, then you will see your organization chart. The master user will be at the top, and all the people who report to them will be down below. When you click on a certain